Distractions, we all need them, and this video is full of them. So we're going to talk about pens, we're going to talk about inks, I'm going to talk about authors that have excited me lately and books I love reading, why I love reading, different kinds of reading, what's growing in the garden in the winter that I'm quite excited about. Just little joys, little simple joys like cups of tea, walking in the rain, a new moon in Cancer. So grab a cuppa or a glass and enjoy the journey. Yeah, I was thinking about reading and its role. I mean, it's always been a huge part of my life. It's always been the thing that rescues me from, I can remember like from when I was a kid, coming home from school, and if it had been a crap day or whatever, and just looking forward to getting stuck into my book, it was just the best feeling. And getting into another world, and dreaming of, if you're a reader, you know what I mean. I mean, you just go into that world, you get into that place. And even now, like, I go to bed at night and that's what I want to be. I want to be in that world. Oh, I had a birthday, which I couldn't celebrate because I was too sick, but this is a birthday card from my beautiful granddaughter. So lovely. She said, I love you lots and lots and lots. Beautiful. I love all their drawings. I love their art so much. And there's kind of reading that makes you more aware of the world and brings you into it, like, some kind of poetry and things, especially things about nature that make you appreciate it more. And then there's reading that takes you out of the world. So books like the Alan Jenkins ones that I've been reading quite a bit of late. There's another guy I read, John Lewis Stemple. Writes about nature, an English guy. They make you appreciate nature, and they also make me look at the world around me. So they kind of bring me into the world, into this world. Whereas the books I've been reading more of this last few weeks are they'll pick you up and take you to another place entirely. And these are the escapism, because they're written so well that they can just literally grab hold of you and put you in their world. Like when I was a kid, I think it was Enid writing mystery books I liked. Well, I loved the boarding school books too. Mallory Towers and St. Clair's. But all those kind of books, just getting drawn into those other worlds. But I've discovered that one author I've been reading that I've read 2 books of is someone I read a few years ago called Leslie Glaister. She wrote, I think one of her most well-known books is Nina Todd is Gone, or Nina Todd is Missing, or Nina Todd is Gone. Anyway, I read that a few years ago, and I read another one called Trick or Treat. I can't remember much about those, so I might have to read them again. But the 2 that I've just read, I read in reverse order, and they were written in, I think, 2022 and 2024. The first one I read was called A Particular Man, and it's set in England in the war, or at the end of the war. I think one was World War One and one was World War Two. The second one I read was actually a prequel to the first one, but I didn't realise that, and it didn't really matter. But her writing is kind of that quiet, beautiful, very real but poetic writing. It's very hard to describe. It's not like fireworks and lots of big busy things happening, more like a sort of slow burn, but you're just drawn in, completely wrapped up in that world. Brilliant character and just such a lovely writer, and pretty sad. Both books, really. First one of the 2, Blasted Things, was quite sad, but it had spirit. It had a lot of good stuff about it. I really, really loved it. But I like the second one. I like A Particular Man, which was her latest book best. And now I've got a couple more to read of hers. So I really loved reading those. And I kind of like the pace of life then, and the spirit of some of the female characters then. The other author is Charity Norman. Now, Charity Norman, I had never read before, and I found her through the Libby app. I think one of her books was the book of the month of May. So they had loads of extra copies to lend, and I borrowed one because I liked the sound of it. It was called Home Truths, which was her latest book. I think it was published last year. I was drawn in from the first page. All of her novels, she's written I think 8 now, and I've read 4. And they all have a really strong current sort of thing that's a current social issue or something. And the one in Home Truths is set around the pandemic, although that's not a big part of it. It's set in the UK. But the central, strongest theme is conspiracy theory and how people can get sucked into it, especially online. The hook of the novel is how can you fight an enemy that you can't see? The books start with the ending in a courtroom, and then you go back into the story. And it's kind of about a nuclear family, I guess, mother, father, 2 children. The mother's called Livia, and she's a social worker. Father's an English teacher, and there's 2 children. And it starts, when it goes back into the story begins on the daughter's, I think it's her 13th birthday, and there's a family tragedy. The book carries on with how this tragedy affects the rest of the family, and there's a lot of guilt and grief and different ways of dealing with it. But the father gets drawn into this whole conspiracy theory thing. The book just goes on, mainly it's about that, but it's got brilliant characterization. It's got really cool characters. Even the little cameo characters are very well done. There's one in particular I really liked. It was one of Livia's clients. It was brilliant. It was great. I did read a few reviews that didn't like it. They didn't like the conspiracy theory thing, but I thought that was really well done and very true to life. I've met people who've been really drawn into that kind of stuff, and she did it really well. So when I read that, I wanted to know more about this author, because that's, if I find an author I really like, I have to find out more about them. And I discovered we have quite a lot in common. We're about the same age, although she was born in Uganda, I was born in England, but we both grew up and were raised in England. We both moved to New Zealand 20 years ago. And in some of her other books, it's quite apparent this moving from one side of the planet to the other is quite a strong theme. It doesn't feature in Home Truths, but the next one I read, which was the one written before Home Truths, was called Remember Me, and that's set in New Zealand. And that has a bit of the being so far away from your family and how it feels. And the theme of that one is how an illness diagnosis can be so life-changing. It's about a missing person and it's about dementia. There's 3 kind of themes going on here. It's also about love and family and community. And one of the brilliant things about this book, which is set on the North Island of New Zealand, it's in this kind of the shadow of this mountain range called the Ruahinis, which means wise woman. And there is a character in the book called Raywin, who is the mother of the person who goes missing, and she really embodies this mountain range as a person, if that makes sense. But the characterization and the sense of place, again, Charity Norman was brilliant. It's the kind of book where you can't help but cry in places and laugh, and there was just so much that I recognised in the writing, especially the sort of main character who's telling the story a lot of the time is, although there's a few main characters really, I guess one of the main characters that flows throughout the whole book is the person who goes missing. And there's just so much in it. The themes of this genetic illness and then the dementia, and the dementia part's handled so well, so brilliantly, so beautifully. And the 2 families and this secret and this 25-year-old mystery of the missing person. It's satisfying, this book. And although it is sad too, it does have a beautiful ending. It also covers the concept of like a good death kind of thing, which is not something I like really reading about, but this book did it brilliantly. If you haven't read Charity Norman, I just cannot recommend her enough. Honestly, read Charity Norman and Leslie Glaister. I'll link these books. Got the window open to let the stars in. That sounds crazy, eh? I've got a lot of candles. It's kind of cold, but I just wanted to let in some of the night. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of reading for distraction. I've got my mental health journal here. That's been overflowing the pages because I've had more to say than I had room for. But I write a theme word sometimes at the top of the page, like the mood of the day. This is just sad. That page was one of the upper pages of a strategy about how to stop myself from sinking further and further into depression. But a lot of it is just like pouring out stuff that I need to get out of me, which I try not to put in this one. This is my main Hobonichi. Lots of chocolate wrappers in here. Brocco Choco. Lovely Canadian broccoli chocolate. I saw this person, I couldn't remember who they were, and it was Ruth Alinska, who was in this program when I was a kid called Rock Follies. It was about these three rock chicks who made this band, and I thought, oh, that was a trip down memory lane. I'd kind of like to watch that again. So I'm going to look for Rock Follies, and I've been inking up new pens, playing with ink samples, and because I've got a lot of samples, I've been trying to use them up. But I've got these three beautiful pens on the go that I've just inked. This one is made by Black Robin Pens in England. That might be Wales. I think this one's called Mistletoe, the resin, I'm not sure. I thought this was kind of a greeny colour, but when I looked at it the other day in the light and really got in close to it, it looks more like a blue. This here, I thought it was red like white and shiny and green, but anyway, I inked this one with, this ink is a Pen BBS ink, and it's called Heavy Snow, which is I'll show you, it's like a red, it's like, I don't know, I couldn't understand where they got the name Heavy Snow from, so if you look at it, I only got a sample, it's a beautiful colour. I wish I got more. And I did dilute this. I have Van Diemen's, I think it's ink wetter, and a bit of glycerin, because some inks can be very, very dry. So this one was quite dry. So I want to give it a little bit of a helping hand. In fact, I think all of the pens I inked recently from these samples, I added a bit of the thing from. But if you look at it, it's like that reddy colour. I don't know if you can see that there. Just doesn't really look like snow. Anyway, that's what it's called, and I like the colour. This is a Benu pen. I think it's called a Benu Briolet. I'm not sure what the actual colour's called. Maybe Snowy Peaks or something, I think it's called. But look at it. These are so over the top, these pens. They're just very, very cool. I really like holding these pens. And this one, the ink in this one is Takia Utamaro Amurasaki. This is like it's a kind of bluey grey colour. I guess this could be a footprint in the snow. Like, you know, when you put boot in the snow and it makes that kind of shadowy dark mark. And then this one, this is a Lamy All-Star. I think it's maybe the petrol one, or the petrol might have been a safari. Anyway, it's a petrol blue colour. And the ink in this one is, this is a lovely ink. This is Colourverse Witch White Starlight. And I like this one. I had to dilute this one too because it was very dry. And this one's got a little bit of a glistening sparkle to it. So that's those. I've got my lovely pen holder, which I have shown before. My friend made for me, I think almost a year ago. I think I had that about a year now. I love it. It holds 3 pens. It's just gorgeous. Made out of local wood. Remo, I think it is. And it's just beautiful. He made me some like balls, wooden balls too, stimming ball things, which are gorgeous. It's like you have pebbles that you have to hold. I love it. And I've got a little mushroom collection. I don't even see them over there. That I've had for years. Now, one more thing I have to tell you. This book here, Elly Griffiths, The Frozen People. I did a video about this about a year ago maybe, or a very quick video. I just talked about this book. Has just won my beautiful signed edition. Whoops. Has just won the the Theakston's Crime Award for 2026 in the UK. So congratulations, Elly Griffiths. This is a very cool series. I've just read the second one in the series. No, sorry, I've just got the second one in, so I haven't read it yet. I was thinking about, this is about time travel, but I was thinking about I've been reading another series about an AI detective, which is very, very cool as well. I think I talked about one of her books in another video, but I'll talk about her again next time. So anyway, there we go. There's that one. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And I'm going to leave you with a few more clips from the last couple of weeks. And I'll see you next time. And as always, thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate you. And thank you for all the lovely comments. Bye for now.